My name is Carina Gardner, and I'm what you would call a practical designer. If you're ready to create a life that you love, become an incredible force for good, and generate income while pursuing your dreams, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to Make and Design.
Today, I want to explore with you the idea that success comes from not giving up. And I think we know this, but I just feel like I want you to hear this today, and I don't know who needs to hear this, but I want you to know that creatives who don't give up find success. They do interesting things, and so I'm going to give you a couple of stories on it to make sure that their success works, but they don't give up, okay? So the first one is I want to talk a little bit about J.K. Rowling. Over the last couple of years, my family visited both the London and the Japan Warner Brothers studios on the making of Harry Potter. So we're big Harry Potter fans over here. And I remember, I don't know if any of the rest of you were this way, but I remember before I had children, Josh and I were married and we were young college students in Minnesota. And we would go stand in line at midnight to go get the Harry Potter books. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen again. Maybe it will. I just think with digital, it's not the same. But I don't remember it happening before that either, where we would really go stand in line to get a book at midnight. So crazy, right? But that was how successful J.K. Rowling's books had become. So let's dig into this. I think she is very motivational. She's the author of the Harry Potter series. And before she became one of the most famous authors in the world, Rowling faced immense challenges. In the early 1990s, she was a single mother, unemployed, and living on welfare in Edinburgh, Scotland. During this difficult time period, she was struggling with depression and had little hope for her future. And I tell you this because I feel like we have all been there. We've all been there where we feel like everything is down and out for us, and it is difficult to move forward, whether it is depression, mental struggle, anxiety, whether we were unemployed. I mean, I remember I was just telling someone the other day about how I was on WIC when I had my first two children because I was a college student. We made so little money, right? So just all the different things that make it difficult to move forward as a creative. Despite her circumstances, she continued to work on her passion, writing. She had conceived the idea for Harry Potter on a train ride in 1990, but it took several years to develop the story. When she finally finished the first manuscript of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Rowling sent it to 12 different publishers, all of whom rejected it. Most publishers thought a book about a young wizard wouldn't sell. Undeterred, she kept going. Finally, Bloomsbury, a small publishing house, decided to take a chance on the book after the chairman's 8-year-old daughter loved it. Even then, Rowling was told not to expect much. Children's books don't typically make authors wealthy. But as we know, the Harry Potter series went on to become one of the best-selling book series of all time, launching Rowling from near poverty to becoming the world's first billionaire author. Beyond financial success, her books have had an immeasurable impact on readers of all ages, sparking a global phenomenon that includes movies, theme parks, and a lasting legacy in popular culture. Rowling's story is motivating because it demonstrates the power of perseverance and believing in your passion, even when the odds seem overwhelmingly against you. Despite the setbacks and rejections, she continued to push forward, and her persistence ultimately led to massive success, as we all know. It's a reminder that success often requires resilience and belief in oneself, even in the face of failure. And I think someone, maybe it is you listening today, needs to hear that the perseverance, the resilience, belief in oneself, it takes time to make it and make it big. And it was years, you guys. Like, it was years as she was working on this. Okay. I personally have seen this. You never know when success is going to come to you. And I have another example for you because I really like this other example, because one of the things I like about J.K. Rowling is that she is in a creative industry, right? Writing and design, it's not so different. In fact, I actually think writers have a lot more they have to push through because they're working not necessarily on volume, but they have to work on these massive books, that take a long time to write and put in. And so I just think it's such an inspiring story because everyone thinks it can't be them. And what I always wonder is, what if you believed that it was you, that you were the next person to do the next big thing? And I think that if you change that belief, it really can be a very big thing. So the other person I wanted to talk about is Vera Wang. I think she is a powerful example of creative perseverance, yes, but also of someone who was willing to pivot. So let's talk about this. So she is now a renowned fashion designer. I'm sure you've heard of her. Before she became an iconic name in bridal culture, Wang's career path took an unexpected turn, and her journey to success is marked by determination and her willingness to pivot. So Wang initially had dreams of becoming a professional figure skater. I mean, talk about totally different than the fashion world, right? Maybe you had dreams of becoming something else, and now you're trying to make a pivot into the design world. And she even competed in national championships. However, despite her passion and hard work, she never made it onto the Olympic team. Realizing that her dream of skating professionally wasn't going to materialize, she pivoted to fashion. She entered the fashion world by working as an editor at Vogue magazine, where she stayed for 17 years. However, despite her long tenure, she was passed over for the editor-in-chief position. Disheartened, but not defeated, Wang took another risk and left Vogue to work for Ralph Lauren as a design director. It was only in her 40s, while planning her own wedding, that she found her true calling. Frustrated with the lack of contemporary bridal gowns on the market, she designed her own dress and opened a bridal boutique. This sparked a new passion, and in 1990, she launched her own line of bridal wear, despite being relatively late to start a new career in fashion. Wang's bridal designs quickly became known for their elegance, sophistication, and modern aesthetic, transforming the bridal industry. Today, she is one of the most successful and recognizable names in fashion, with a global empire that spans wedding dresses, ready-to-wear collections, fragrances, and home products. Her story is a testament to the idea that it is never too late to pursue a new dream, and that success often comes after navigating unexpected challenges. Vera Wang's journey teaches that perseverance, resilience, and being open to reinvention often lead to a true calling. And I really resonate with Vera Wang because I spent 16 plus years running my own design business, and I loved it. And when it was time for me to make a pivot, then I got into education. And it's so funny because I initially started in education. I taught for 5 years at the University of Minnesota, and I pivoted into design. And then 17 years later, it was 13 years later, I pivoted back into education. And I just think that a lot of times we don't know where the journey is headed. I always tell Design Suite members, you've come in and we're going to teach you everything we can about design. We're going to teach you everything we know about creating steady income. We're going to show you all the methods that we know of that really work. We're going to talk to you about what shops works. We do everything we can. But still, despite this, we will have people who suddenly will be making $35,000 off of custom wallpaper. We'll have someone create a really distinct and very lucrative freelance career. We'll have someone go in-house and work at a real estate company. The thing is that while we all are learning and we can get education in the same way, our paths are very different. And we have to accept the opportunities that are given to us because they're unique to us. What I also love about this story is the number of women I run into in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who still ask me, is it too late for me to do this? The answer is no. And there is some list that has been going around Instagram of people who started in their 50s and 60s, really big businesses that we know of today, in particular like Home Depot, KFC are a couple, but they're like even her in her 40s starting her own wedding bridal business. I think that a lot of times we think that we should have done it when we were 20 because we hear of all these 20-year-olds who are making it big and doing great things. I always worry for those 20-year-olds because I wonder if they haven't gotten the experience, and so they've almost pivoted too early. And I always worry that the rest of their life is going to feel like it's a disappointment. In my life, I feel like it's always been trending up. Are there things that go down? Are there things that go really up? Yes. But like for the most part, my life has always been trending up. So every experience I have in creating a design business, getting a new contract, designing for a new platform, doing freelance work, all of these different things have only contributed to my overall experience and knowledge of the industry. Even owning a physical products business, which we did with Miniloo, and working with Nordstrom, and then working with small independent toy stores, working with museums, gave me experience that helped me understand distribution strategies, helped me understand how things worked in different industries. And being in different industries, I've been in the quilting and fabric industry, I've been in the crafting industry, I've been in the toy industry. Being able to see all the ways those different wholesale markets even run really opened my eyes to how every industry is different, and the way they operate makes it a unique and interesting opportunity. And I love this story, especially because she was in her 40s and she has had such success and found her true passion and hard work. But I think that pivot from even ice skating to something else, at the end of the day, I start to realize that like it's really perseverance that brings us success. It's staying with the course, actually just continuing to do the work until we get to the place that our journey is meant to go to. And I'll even say this, even then, if someone had told me even 4 years ago that I would be starting a university, that they were crazy. There is no way I was going to do such a thing. And here I am with our own Master of Arts degree, with a design certificate program at the University of Arts and Design, with a professional development program, Design Suite is that. And I just think that you don't know where this path is going to take you, but you just need to continue to dream and do the work and see what opportunities arise for you. Your opportunities are unique, they are interesting, and you have big things coming to you. So just keep at it. I don't know who needed to hear this today, but just keep at it, because your success will come because you've continued to do the work.
Did you know you have access to more free design content, die cut files, and sewing patterns? Join our exclusive VIP group for free by going to designsuitecourses.com/free.